Looking for help with course design and installations? A new disc or other accessories for your game? Well, Aus Discs has a huge range of all disc golf equipment in stock. 5% of each sale goes back to support your local club through their rewards program. Also, did we mention they have next day shipping? Well, jump online and check out Aus Discs now at www.ausdiscs.com.au. For over 10 years, the Flying Disc Store has stocked Australia's largest range of flying disc products. From disc golf discs and bags to ultimate frisbees, throw and catch discs and dog discs, the Flying Disc Store has everything you need. As part of our support of the Tee-Off, the Flying Disc Store would like to provide Tee-Off listeners with 5% off any purchase in the store. Just use the code TEEOFF5 when checking out to get your discount. Visit www.flyingdiscstore.com.au today to grab a deal. And if you have any questions, be sure to contact their friendly staff. And welcome back to the Tee-Off, an Australian podcast about the awesome sport of disc golf. My name is Paddy. I'm here with Tim. This is episode 77. And Tim, we're missing one.
Yeah, Fergie, I've written down here, he's about as reliable as a Rad V1, mate. And I mean that. He's always pulling out, but he's off designing a course. So it's kind of for the greater good.
Yeah, we'll give him a pass for any course design jobs. That's fair enough. I don't actually know where he is. We probably couldn't share it even if we knew where he was, to be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't share it. I heard Mornington Peninsula, but I wouldn't share it.
It's exciting. Actually, we've seen him pop up at a couple of random spots lately. He had this big, like, multi-million-dollar property that he was designing. We're like, oh, how cool is that? Can we go play? And he's like, nah, never.
It's private.
I'm like, yeah, sick.
Yeah, classic Fergs. Be all backhands anyway.
All right, we're probably paying it through tax for that, that billionaire that he was doing it for, weren't we? Yeah.
And that's it.
All right, well, yeah, no Fergie today, so just a nice intimate episode with me and Tim. It'll probably mean it's a lot quicker too, hey?
Less sexual innuendo as well.
I'll try and bring it for all the listeners who enjoy that side of things. But, yeah, Tim, you've got a big week planned, mate.
Yeah, I'm off to the conference tomorrow, off to Adelaide, and then I'm actually flying from Adelaide to the Crater to play a Crater Lakes Classic. Yeah. Forecast looks a little wet, so
yeah, right.
Classic. Surprise.
Yeah,
I've got the brolly.
Wet and windy.
Yep.
Have we ever played Mount Gambier in like pristine conditions?
I have, and it's so fun. It's fun, but just for like a casual round as I was blowing through.
Yeah, right.
It's so good. But it's going to be good even though it's wet and windy. It'll be fine.
Yeah, well, that'll be pretty exciting. And, I mean, it's never a bad weekend playing Crater Lakes, to be honest. So
I'm really keen. Yeah, you're going to late call up, Paddy? No chance?
I don't know. Probably not, to be honest.
It's a Saturday Arvo start, Sunday morning finish, so you can kind of roll in on Saturday, which I've done. I don't recommend it, but you can do it.
We're going to talk about a tournament that we did do that with just recently, which was did work quite well with the family. So, there's a few good things going for it, Tim, but yeah, we'll see. Another bit of news, I suppose. We finished the Sizzler commentary.
Yeah, that was good to get done. 66 holes we did, and long sesh with the three of us, but we got through it, which was good. And
it was, I tell you what, it was really interesting coming into it, not having played it and hearing changes of the course and that sort of stuff. But the course looked great. Like, it really looked like a lot of fun. Maybe that final round, a bit of the weather kind of played into it, which was, less than ideal. But, I think the Canberra boys did a pretty solid job. And it was good to see Blake firing off with a couple of good reactions to some big putts. So I'm not sure what his signature is yet.
Mate, if people don't know that that's coming, make sure you watch the Sizzler coverage.
You gotta.
And just have a look at the, big putt celebrations from Blake. They were absolutely the best part about that Sizzler coverage.
Yeah, I think maybe us or Parks are going to have to put out there and say, like, all right, what's his signature going to be?
Yeah.
And he's that'll be coming out.
But yeah, keep an eye out for that. Hopefully, mate, next couple of weeks, I think we'll see that coverage out on Gatekeeper and Parked. So keep an eye out.
Unreal.
What's news round the world, round Australia? what's news, what's happened and who's stolen.
Alrighty, Tim, there's been a pretty big, well, it's the first DGPT Plus event for the year, was the MVP Open at Austin, which it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, I don't know what the plus really means other than the fact that it's an extra round. So this was a 4-rounder, 3-round cutoff, and that was really about it. But MVP's Open at Austin.
Is there extra money? Plus money?
I don't think there was extra money. I think it was just, it was a big one. People wanted to win this one. And we did see some really good disc golf from a lot of players, but we also saw some very bad disc golf from big names, which is one of the notes I've got on the list here.
Yes.
So MVP Open
team.
at Austin, presented by Flight Factory Discs. MPO winner was Nicholas Antela. He actually went back-to-back. So if you remember last year, he hit that really clutch putt to win on the last hole. And this year, he actually canned a much closer C1 putt in the playoff to beat Kyle Klein.
Oh, mate, I've seen some good memes since it.
Yeah.
Basically, just think of Tom and Jerry, and someone's put Kyle's face on Tom, and basically Antilla keeps coming. He's
called the Finnish Cowboy now. That's his certified nickname.
The Finnish Cowboy.
The Finnish Cowboy.
There's definitely worse nicknames out there.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
So I think Discmania brought out the Nordic Phenom, the disc last year, but they need to bring out a Finnish Cowboy.
The Finnish Cowboy.
I haven't bought a new disc in ages, and I will be buying Finnish Cowboys if they're out there in the market.
It sounds like a shot, to be honest.
I reckon.
I'll have one Finnish Cowboy, thanks, bartender.
It'll be extra girly, I think. But anyway, it has to be said, Kyle Klein, he kind of choked a little bit. So he went into the round 4 with a 5-shot lead over Kyle Klein, but he putted, and it sounds bad saying these putting stats are bad, but they at the elite level, they're not great. He putted at 71% C1X and 17% C2, which I would actually take in a heartbeat. But unfortunately, that's let the door ajar, and Nicholas Antela got the win.
Yeah, look, I do wonder, Kyle hasn't maybe been in that position for a while. I can't remember when he was, especially at a DGPT Plus, or, one of these big ones. So maybe there were a few little nerves there, but really good. I mean, I had him in my tips, so it was really good to see him playing well. But I just enjoy seeing Kyle play well.
Me too. He kind of slides under the radar because he's I think we still think he's 19, but he's actually been around a little bit longer. He's always been in the running at a lot of these events, and he's had big wins. So, I
don't know. I don't know whether he seems like he's pretty softly spoken.
Yeah.
He's not like this massive crush kind of dude. I've seen some good putting and stuff, but just super solid. So good to see him up there. And
it looked to me, and I don't want to be the expert on putting because that's by no means where I should be placing myself, but his putt has a lot of low to high to it.
Yes.
So he kind of releases it low, nose up, and has it sweeping upwards.
I've noticed he has his wrist very upward on it as well. And it it feels like to me he rolls his wrist around the edge of the putter too.
Yeah.
Which I remember mucking around with at one point, but I couldn't get the release right. But yeah, it's a very unique style.
And I feel like when the wind's up and the wind's wrong, and in that final round where you're not 100% confident, 100% committed yet, and he's in that boat where he hasn't got that Paul Macbeth killer instinct yet, he just misses a lot low or high, and that's what was happening in the last round. He just looked lacking confidence, and he said so himself in a post. He said the last round was like an out of body experience, like he was watching himself putt and he couldn't really do anything to fix it, couldn't diagnose the issues. So
that could have been that 4th round too. I usually feel like that after 2. So
yeah, that's it. I think he's young though,
1.5.
He'll be able to last the 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Gannon, Burr, and Ezra Robinson rounded out the top 4. So the 3 Discmania boys shredded. Gannon, Kyle, and Nicholas. It looked like any one of those 3 was going to win. It kind of felt like Gannon was, to be fair.
Yeah.
He kind of thought that the other boys, they choked late in that last round, each on a hole. And I'm like, oh no, they're going to let Gannon win. But it was good to see Nicholas pull ahead and get the win. And got a few stats to roll through.
Hit me.
So first of all, the top C1X putter was Ezra Adderhold, which I found surprising. He only missed 1 from 36, and he was the 7th top.
Only missed 1?
Only missed 1 out of 36.
Jeez.
And he hit 9 C2 putts. He was the 7th ranked C2 putter. So I just want to point out, Ezra Adderhold, we kind of think, he's in the running on those big open courses and wooded courses, not his jam, but the putting is kind of elite for Adderhold. Maybe good signs. He's kind of on my radar to watch, I reckon.
Okay. Something's clicked a little. I mean, I've watched him for a bit. Like,
Yeah.
his putt looks okay. It's kind of that stabby, sort of spinny, but when it clicks, I suppose.
I think it was Brian Earhart did a real good insight into his putt, and he kind of putts like a dart throw, which is interesting. So instead of like following through to the target, he follows through outward to the right of the target, which is kind of very unique. Anyway, we don't want to deep dive into that, but have a look at Ezra Adholt's putt if you're curious to know what I'm talking about.
Hey, it worked, so
that's it.
Who cares?
Next on the stat list, Adam Hammers actually got more birdies than anyone, but he had 4 double bogeys. So in comparison, Kyle Klein and Nicholas Antela had no double bogeys.
I'm not surprised to see that. I've seen Adam. I don't know whether he's like going for a bit of risk reward, but just makes some mistakes and takes those OBs.
He's got that dog in him though. Like we kind of thought like Waco might have been a flash in the pan for him, but he's had another good showing at this one.
Super solid.
And that forehand I think is doing a lot of damage. You're kind of looking at the people on top of the leaderboard, and no one really has a forehand as good as him, except for maybe Ricky at the moment. His forehand's looking elite.
I don't know why, but I just kind of want to, I like to see all of them do. But Adam, maybe it's because Chris Hart, when they were over overseas, Chris told us the story about he sort of said Adam had a bit of a rough round. He went and bought him a beer and just had a bit of a chat, and he just seemed like a really nice, genuine guy.
Yeah.
And I think, well, to me, those who know Chris Hart, that probably means a lot. I think
absolutely.
he's a good character. So I don't know. I really have enjoyed seeing him do well so far this year, and he's definitely a very, very good player. One of the better putters out there too. So
absolutely.
Good to see.
And I think he was maybe in Anthony Barella's shadow a little bit because they were such good mates and they're always sort of sharing content together. But it's good to see that he can actually compete.
Yeah, 100%.
Outdoing AB as it stands.
And he was a bit injured last year, wasn't he? I think, or maybe the year before. I think there was a bit of a tweak. He just wasn't firing, and now he's whatever. Yeah, it's working again. So good to see.
Good to see. Agreed. C1 in regulation was the deciding stat, as it always is. Nicholas Antela was the top. Kyle Klein in 4th. Gannon and Hammers were 2nd for C1 reg. And the other notable that I've got is that a whole stack of good players missed the cut. So this was the first tourney of the year with a round 3 cut line.
Yeah.
And listen to some of these names.
I kind of like the cut, by the way.
Every comp should have a cut.
Yeah.
I mean, for the sheer fact that it helps with backups.
Yeah.
So we can cut out the crud, so to speak.
Yeah.
But
I like it.
Yeah, here's some of the names. Joey Buckets, Eagle McMahon, Simon Lizotte, Nico LaCastro, Paul Ulibarri, Big Germ, Robert Burridge, and Braden Sides all missed the cut.
Interesting.
So the course played tough.
I mean, Eagle, Simon, Yuli and Germ, though, I'm just wondering, that's a big tournament. They've just come off Waco. They're now coming into this with is it a fitness body thing, or did the course just kill it? Yeah, that's interesting. I'm surprised to see them missing the cut.
Me too. Particularly Simon. He's the one I'm like, he's had such a good start to the year. Really didn't expect him not to be making the cut. And Joey Buckets hadn't really been tracking his progress this year, but obviously he was killing it last season, and hopefully this is just a one-off for him.
I mean, Burridge is kind of up and down as well, but we saw him have a reasonable start to the year, so interesting.
Spot on.
Yeah, okay.
It may have had something to do with hole 18,
All
which
right.
is
We're getting into it.
The now infamous par 5 hole 18. We'll hold our thoughts for later in the recap. But I just want to point out hole 18 at Sprinkle Valley, which was the course they played in the first 2 rounds, averaged 1.01 and 1.36 over par. So this hole, it's a par 5. You need to throw a pretty difficult shot to a inbounds landing zone, but it's an open shot. Then the next shot gets even harder. You've got to try and thread some trees and land in the second landing zone. And then you've got a blind, slightly uphill, because you're throwing over this row of stairs through a window to an island which is about the size of C1. So, I would take some 20s on that. I mean, I'm known for being called 10, and I've coined the new phrase for this bloke, because he had the worst score on this hole. And it was Twelvin Heimburg. Got a 12, mate.
I think we've just got a episode name.
There you go.
Twelvin Heimburg.
He was me tip, and he was actually cooking. And I'm like, yeah, sweet.
12.
Got a 12. And you know what? I picked him in our picks, and I was like, oh, yeah, I think AB is going to do well at this one, but I'll pick Calvin because he's safe. He's safer. He won't have the blow-up holes. And then he gets me a 12. So thanks, Twelvin. Well done.
Are we going to talk about FPO and then talk about 18?
Yep, it's in there for
right.
a good chat at the end because,
Let's do it.
I mean, if hole 18 killed the boys, it absolutely annihilated the girls.
And they were, anyway, let's talk about it later.
We'll get
Let's
into
go
it in a sec.
FPO first.
So FPO, Holland Hanley had a huge win. She had her first Elite Series win for the year, holding on by one shot over Kristen Tatar, or Kristen Latt, I should say. So a good win for Holland. She had a win down in New Zealand, but this is her first big win for the year.
I didn't have time to organise a monkey audio clip, but monkeys off the back.
Monkeys off the back, mate. She's looking good.
Over Kristen.
Don't you reckon she's looking good? I mean, Kristen, I've got it here. Kristen was good, not great, but still any win over Kristen Latt is a good win.
I mean, one shot is nothing. One shot is absolutely nothing, especially on a course with that much OB. So maybe a little bit fortuitous, bit lucky. I don't think that really says heaps, but still,
yeah,
to have like the world champ coming in hard, and we know anytime Kristen is on that list for the FPO, everyone's got to be nervous.
Spot on. And look, they didn't have their best events. Holland averaged 989, Kristen averaged 988, but nevertheless a very good win. And I think what made it even better is that we almost saw another like classic Holland Henley choke. She had a 6-shot lead going into round 4, and I think last year she would have, lost by 10 shots. That's how bad her sort of swing in the last round was.
Yeah.
I think it was like she averaged 100 rating points less or something like that in last rounds compared to first rounds.
Far out.
But yeah, she kind of was looking like she was going to do that again in this comp, but she turned it around.
That's a big monkey.
That's a big monkey. And I kind of am very optimistic for her. She looked like she's getting that a bit more mental resilience. She's kind of sorting out her forehand approaches, which is like, that's what, when she's nervous, that's what she keeps stuffing up, which doesn't make any sense to me because that's the easiest shot in disc golf.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of good sign. So I'm really, really keen. I really just want to fast forward and watch Worlds in June or July, whenever it is, and see Holland take on Kristen because should be on, I reckon.
Oh, mate, in Finland too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be,
I forgot about that. I'll probably give Kristen the edge there by 20 shots.
Yeah.
Owen Scoggins and Silver Saarinen rounded out the top 4. And I've got a few stats here. Holland was just throwing the disc pretty elite. She actually topped the parked C1 reg and C2 reg percentages. I don't know if I've seen a clean sweep of the 3 throwing stats. Holland certainly got it. And that helped her get over the fact that she had 8 double bogeys. Which I don't think Kristen had any. She might have 1. Oh no, she actually had a couple of blow-up holes as well. But I think she had 2 blow-up holes for the event. But yeah, 8 double bogeys and still getting the win. Very nice stuff from Holland.
That sounds more like us, isn't it?
Yeah. Now we've alluded to it. Hole 18 absolutely destroyed the girls. I saw a heap of social media content and posts from all the girls sort of saying like, oh, hole 18 happened on to the next day, or, some of them are actually pretty negative about the course and the hole in general. But I just want to go through
we're putting out an Aussie take on it, like, because we're seeing a lot of takes on it. So
yeah, and look, we haven't played it, so I haven't seen it. I've only seen the caddy book.
Mate, I've played that every Melbourne Melbourne Celebrates event.
That's it. It's like, I don't know if the C1 Island is the bugbear or if it's the blind sort of half turnover shot or what it is. But
ever played a course designed by Alan Brunsting? You've played all 18? No.
I think I just don't like the fact that like there's all these different drop zones and you go to certain drop zones based on where you get to on the hole.
Ugh,
so I just know you like reading that. You'll have to read like a paragraph or 2 to understand how to play the hole.
Can you imagine going through that at the players' meeting?
Yeah.
Beforehand.
What a nightmare. What a nightmare.
Why would, no, just like as a course design and tournament director point of view, save yourself half an hour.
Agreed. Have a look at the averages, Paddy.
Yeah.
So round 1, it averages par 5. Round 1, it averaged 7.81. And round 2, it averaged 8.55. Yeah. Literally, a double bogey gained you a stroke on the field, on average. A triple bogey in round 2, on average, gained you half a stroke. That's mental.
Well, I want to break it down. Do the pros not know how to play it though? Because I watched it quite a few times, and I did see a couple blow out a little from the first shot. Seemed very open. And
First
if
shot
there
was fine. Yeah,
if
it got
there was a-
progressively harder the longer the hole went on.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like you're talking about where I saw a lot of people break down was approaching to the green.
Absolutely. And
So-
the rule was like if you didn't clear the green, like if you came up short or hit an obstacle or whatever, you didn't progress to the drop zone.
Yeah,
So you could actually just do like what Simon did at Toboggan that
Yeah.
time. Just blast it long, make sure you get to the drop zone, and at worst, you might take a bogey.
like how hard's that? That's not that hard.
I mean-
You're talking about the best disc golf players in the world.
Yeah. Some of
don't
this,
know.
from the MPO side of things, some of it came from stubbornness where they were just slightly out of position to sort of get through that gap and went for it anyway.
Do you
Whereas I
reckon-
saw
Yeah.
Mason Ford, he was out of position and he said, yep, I'll just throw it 20 feet,
Yeah,
get open. And he got up and down for the par. I'm like, I think
Strokes.
maybe a few people could have done that. And
strokes, mate.
I think
Yeah.
part of maybe they didn't know how to play it because it was such a small, it was like 1 week before the previous comp. I can't remember the last one, it must have been Waco. So maybe they didn't have enough practice on it or
Yeah.
what. And the wind and obviously played a factor. But look, it averaged 3.55 over par. There was a
Yeah.
girl that got 14. There were multiple 13s. So I want to shout out some of the 13s because they're notable names. Sarah Hokum got a 13. Anakin Sten got a 13. Maria Oliva got a 13. It's I don't know. I don't know what to say, but other than the fact that it was good viewing because I love watching just an absolute
Watches the
blow up.
blowouts?
Yep. As long as I'm not the blow up. And it was hard watching Calvin because he was my boy.
Yeah,
But yeah, look, what do we think about the hole? What do you reckon? Do you like it?
I think as the boys, what was the boys? They were 1 to 1.3 over par. So for a hole like that to take a bogey, all right, that's probably fair enough. To take a 12 on a hole like that is you've played that hole wrong.
Spot on.
That's if you're going double to triple, you played that hole very wrong. That's on you. And I think if the girls I didn't watch the girls play it, so I don't know exactly where it was getting to them. But if it is the approach to the green, then I think you're playing the percentages wrong.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I don't think it's a terrible hole, but you probably like to see a couple of tweaks. If the best players in the world are taking 12s to 13s, I wonder if there is a little bit of like, oh, this hole kind of sucks. I'm just going to keep going. I've already stuffed it up once. Just try and do whatever they want. I don't know.
Are we calling it trash or cash?
Probably overall trash. I'd like to see just a couple of tweaks to it. Maybe a little bit of this drop zone thing. If you've got multiple drop zones on a hole, that sounds like absolute trash to me.
It's a bit trash. And look, to be honest, it shaped the event because Kristen, I think she got a +5 and a +6 on it.
Yeah.
So it cost her the event. She was in tears at the end of it.
Yeah.
Just watching, her round unravel in front of her eyes. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna have to say trash as well. Needs a little bit of work. I think I just don't like very, 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 very small islands. Just that ground play is very tricky to control.
I mean, especially on like it's a wooded hole.
Yeah,
Open
agreed.
to a wooded.
Yeah.
Why do you need an island?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I want to just touch on another trash or cash. So there was another island hole. It was sort of a much more open one. But if you missed it, you went to a drop zone that was putting through these big antlers that they'd put up.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Which, I don't know, like it's looking very mini golf, Paddy.
Mate, I don't want to drop F-bombs, but like that was trash.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolute trash.
I thought it was just like the Jomez putting game when I first saw it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I was like, oh my God, that's the comp. They were putting through the antlers. Oh boy.
Just a bit amateur.
Yeah, it
Definitely.
felt very mini golf. So I'm with you on that one, calling that one
And
trash.
I'm sure Fergie agrees. He doesn't like too many gimmicks, does
No,
he?
he would have hated that.
Want some pure golf.
That's it.
Yeah.
My last one, Isaac Robinson finished in the top 10 for the first
I
time
was
this year.
wondering where you're going to shout him out. Yep.
Yeah, so why did Latitude 64 make him shit?
Just wait. Just wait, mate. Just wait. Number 3's coming.
Yeah, okay, you reckon?
No, I was gonna say we haven't gone past 2 world champs.
No, I just wanted to have a little slight dig there. But it's good to see him cooking because I do like the Robinson boys. Lastly, before we move on, our tips. I went Calvin, he came 10th. Pat, you went Ricky, who came 7th. And AEB was Fergie's tip, and he came 5th. So very solid work.
Well, there you go. Well done, Fergie.
The next comp. So there was actually another one. Jonesboro Open was just an A tier.
Yeah.
I actually completely forgot about this because normally when I'm looking into the events, it's kind of like how people look at my PDGA page to work out what's going on in Australia. I look at Calvin Heimburg and Gannon Burr's PDGA page to find out when the next event is because the Disc Golf Pro Tour website.
Some call them the Tim of.
That's it. But they didn't play this one, so I completely missed it. But I just want to point out Ben Callaway got a win. And
nice.
Kristen also got a win by 23 shots, and she averaged
come on.
10.31, mate.
Come on.
10.31. That's a fair average.
The tears have gone.
Yeah, I know. It's a healthy little bump to her rating, chucking in 2 big 10.30 rounds.
10.30. Is that? I think surely that's the highest female average for a tournament. I'm pretty sure I saw that.
I mean, that sounds about right. That's a pretty elite average. Just want to point out, it was a half full field. It was 2 rounds of 27 holes to meet the minimum requirements for an A tier. And just a bit of a small one.
Jeez.
But nonetheless, good to see Ben Callaway get a win because he's a solid player as well.
Yeah, tight pants. Yeah, he's done well.
That's it. Next event is the Music City Open. I'm going to tip Simon Lizotte because he's won it twice in a row. So I'm going for the 3-peat. You got any tips?
Oh, that's tricky. Who were you talking? We were talking about Adam before. I think
Hammies?
Hammies could be up there. Yeah. I'll better check if he's playing first because that's what's
the link's
stuffed
there.
me.
I rate. I like the backhanders for this one, so I'm going with Simon. I wouldn't mind Calvin as well. I feel like Calvin, like he obviously got the 12. But he's been playing sneaky. Okay, his putting's good. Just making like a couple of blow up holes each comp, which is costing him.
All right, I'm gonna say Isaac. I'm gonna put him.
Oh, here we go.
He's good, but I'm not gonna say he's gonna win. I'm gonna say he's gonna podium.
No. I want a tip for the win, mate.
Tip for the win.
You've gone with Isaac. Gone early.
Yeah, all right, Isaac. There you go.
I'll be interested to see if he finishes in the top 25. Fair to say. Anyway, we need to move on. We've got a few Aussie events to recap. We're going to kick things off, Paddy, with the RPM Discs South Australian Open 2025.
Yeah, now I got to admit, this one was on my radar because they played it at Bel Air, and I got to play Bel Air last year, and it was fun, man.
I'm so sick.
Oh, really, really fun. But
I bet you, didn't I? Just quietly.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know. I remember I had to.
That's it.
I had to run. I basically speed golf played the last 2 holes because I had to make a flight. I had the Uber driver waiting for me at hole 18.
Orcs.
I think it might have been last hole actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, super cool location. If it wasn't, if it was more than a C tier, maybe it would have gone. But anyway,
it's been an odd one because obviously, the major for South Australia is the Eruption.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like South Australia could have 2 majors.
100%.
Eruption feels like its own thing. Mount Gambier is obviously not its own state, but it kind of feels like it is, to be honest.
Here's one for you. If you've got a course that can host a big event, then run a big event.
Yeah, if they had to pump this one up, and certainly if Fergie hadn't sidetracked half the field and put Lake Dewar on the same event, same weekend, then I definitely would have gone because I was certainly keen when I saw it. I want to play Bel Air again. That was fun.
Yeah. So in the MPO, taken out Clayton Beck. Well done, mate. He shot a total 14 down and was 2 strokes over Gareth Morgan. Well done. In MP40, we had 4 players actually. Nice. And Youngblood Roach smoked, to say the least.
Yep.
Smoked 15 strokes. Oof. He was 15 under. He would have won the event.
Oh, you're kidding? He would have won MPO.
Clayton. I just said it.
But no, he would have
at 14. He would have won the whole thing. So,
but obviously not playing. So kudos to Clayton and
very
kudos
solid.
to Youngblood as well. I think he played MPO last year and he said, "Yep, no, I'm keen to step on up to MP40."
Yeah. Now, Tim, I'm actually hoping that maybe you have a little inside scoop here, but in MA1, Henry Arnold winning, I believe, over Tom Lee to a playoff.
Ooh, I don't actually have a scoop there. But Brucey, I don't know.
There wasn't a big circle jerk in the highs of flight. No.
Yeah, it's normally Brucey versus Tim Davis in the playoff, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if Brucey has the best track record in playoffs.
In playoffs, I don't think he does.
Yeah, so no surprise anyway.
Add another one.
That's it. Nonetheless, kudos to highs of flights, Henry Arnold on a big win.
Yeah. Well, don't worry, Bruce. Neither do I. I've lost a few playoffs, mate, so don't worry. So, yeah, solid from the young fella Henry there.
Have to find out that scoop, though, because I bet you it went down real good.
Yeah, please. I was hoping you would. MA40 was Jay Ross getting a win by a healthy 10 strokes over Charles Duplessis. FA40 was Christy Hales Thornton. MA50 was James Arnold by 20 strokes. Gee whiz.
Father-son combo getting a win.
Yeah.
Well done.
MA2 was James Lee with 2 strokes over Bradley. MA3 was Nicholas Marks. FA3 was Bonnie Optis. MA4, was Chris Reimer. And FA4 was Lily Reimer. Oh, maybe that's a family. Yeah, we'll assume.
On the up and up, but nonetheless.
Yeah. So
good events, solid
solid, 64 players, most of them locals. But yeah, Bel Air, man, that's where it's at.
Yep.
I would like to see a big event there next time.
Absolutely. I'll be locking that one in if they run that one again next year. Over on the Victorian side of things, we had Lake Dewa Cup presented by the Flying Disc Store. Obviously TD'd by Andrew Ferguson, friend of the pod, fair to say.
Yeah.
We went up there for that one, Paddy, but we couldn't get the chocolates because Dylan Falbin, out of retirement, John Farnham style, got the win by 2 shots over yourself on the podium and also 4 shots over myself.
So I think what I will say with Dill is his forehands cooked, but there were a lot of backhands, so that helped him. But there was no beating him on the putt and green. He
hit some putts.
He hit some putts, man.
He did put out a vintage Dylan backhand on one of the par 4s too that I was like, oh my God, Dylan. That was like 160 plus meters.
Yeah.
High as a flip up on a line, like just went straight the whole way. I was like, how do you do that? That was insane.
And like it's really nice to see that. I know he was throwing pretty hard on the first round. I was like, I knew he was driving. He wasn't staying. But he backed it up in round 2. So it's good to see. I know the young fella's had some issues for a while. So
yeah, spot on.
Yeah, really nice to see him. I think it was almost 2 back-to-back 1,000 rated. Yeah, almost.
Very good stuff. MP40 Darren Stace Smith had a win over Josh Smith. FP40 was taken out by Cassie Sweeten. MA1 Penn Lou had a win over Kaylin Haramis. MA40 Taryn Anderson had another win over Paul Arden.
Nice.
MA50 Richard Lewis Shell had a win. MA2 was Thomas Jankar over Matt Hunter. FA2 Margaret Trail, good to see her make her way over from she's all the way on the other side of the state, so good trek over for Margaret.
Yeah.
MA3 David Gannon had a win over Zach Schlofel.
Schlofel?
That's a hard name to say.
Yeah.
That's a lot of L's and F's. MA4, Mitchell Howe Graham had a win over his brother, Lachlan Howe Graham. Would have been feisty, that one. FA4, Michaela Cooper had a win. So shout out to those guys. What do you think of Lake Dewa?
Oh, man, it was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
A lot of backhands, though. Jesus, Fergs.
There was a lot of backhands.
He released the caddy book and like 2 holes were just a question mark. And I was like, here you go, Fergs. So I designed a couple, put in some nice Mandos, 2 flex forehands. And I rock up and he's made those mystery holes just 2 clear backhands. So
you still found a forehand on one of them.
I did actually.
Yeah.
Yep. And I also put one of my forehands in the water on that exact hole.
Yeah, true. What I would say about Lake Dewa, the tournament, is one of the most fun events that I've ever played was at Tintinara. Was the first Tinti Open. And that it gave me those vibes. We had a good contingency staying overnight. It was a late Saturday afternoon, early Sunday morning round. And it had kind of everything. Like we had the lake, we were out in the canoes, we were fishing, trying to catch trout. We had the fire, we had music, there were pizzas. There was just everything. And the course, the course wasn't... It's one of the times that I walked away. Like it was a bit of a birdie bash at times, but it was just really fun.
Do we have an inebriated Reinhardt, or did I just imagine that?
Just a little, yeah. Just a little bit.
I like the Tinty comparison though, because the lake does have those vibes. And
Yeah.
I was up to my ears in that lake for a good hour after the comp, and beautiful place, very tranquil.
I felt a lot safer going in the water.
Yeah,
than
that's it.
Than Tintinara.
Locals a bit more friendly.
But-
and I heard from Bryce, I think his owner or he runs it. He said there's a window open in September for another comp there.
Yeah.
So I'll be locking that one in, that's for sure.
It's a little bit of a shame it's a private course because I think I would probably travel there and see if I could do an overnighter or something like that again.
Yep.
But yes, if you are in Victoria or even like maybe the Mount Gambier crew, put it on the radar.
Absolutely.
I think it's one that you would come to and just have a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. Next up, we had the Fantasy Park Open presented by Gateway Disc Sports. Paddy, run us through this one.
Yeah, so this was over in Waikiki in Western Australia, and Damon Williams stood up and TD'd. Thanks, Damo. In the MPO, Alex Canaston had a 3-stroke win over Damon himself, over the TD. Very nice there. MP40 was Brendan Bennett, 2 strokes over Corey Bandy. Corey Bandy, nice one, coming out. FP40 was Sue Summers. MA1 was Daniel McCormick, 4 strokes over Patrick Luke. MA40 was Boat McQuaid.
Good win for Boat, the first one in a while. So
Yeah.
saw him put the post out there. Very nicely done.
I wonder if he filmed the whole thing on his GoPro.
He would have. I wonder if he racked up any more aces. He's the man with like the most aces in the world, and he's also played the most rounds on U-Disc. So
It's crazy.
very good stuff from Boat.
FA40 was Tanya Leon. MA50 was Patrick O'Donoghue. Nice one. We had a MA60 division with 4 players.
There you go.
Pretty solid. Scott Caldwell got the chocolates over Kim Holmes. So very nice there. And what's kind of cool is that they're all PDGA members in there as well in the MA60. So good on those boys.
Originals, I got nice low numbers.
Yeah. No, just Kim.
Just Kim. Yep.
I mean, there's a couple of like 160, 177. That's pretty cool.
That'll be us, Paddy, one day.
Actually, maybe that's put in wrong. It says 1 million in 70. I don't think we're at that stage yet. There was an FA60 as well in Joy Crosswell. So awesome to see there too. Do you reckon we'll be MA
100%.
60 one day?
Yeah.
mate?
I'll be busting out the 150 grand destroyers and I'll just be piffing those
Yep.
from my little wheelchair. It'd be great.
Yeah, sweet. MA2 was Gethin Barden. FA2 was Jasmine Barr. MA3 was Lucas Loma, a nice one. And MA4 was Trent Caldwell. And FA4 was Becky Morgan. So super solid.
Very nicely done. We're going to move over to New South Wales and check out the Sefton Sesh run by Andrew Wiz with Assistant Tournament Director Reese Wiz. So good on the Wiz boys up there putting on another event. A new course in Sefton, which I haven't checked out yet.
I cannot get like I've been watching a lot of Seinfeld lately.
Okay.
Like I'm the Wiz.
I'm the Wiz.
I'm the Wiz.
Yeah, I don't know if Reese will get that reference. Too young, but do like my Seinfeld.
Look it up, mate. We'll send it to him.
It's sad that like you can't just assume everyone's watched Seinfeld anymore.
Yeah, it is.
People are too young these days.
Mate,
Sucks.
one of the nurses at work didn't know what Lockett Annie was. I was like, oh,
Are
jeez.
you kidding me? Never seen Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, the Sefton Sesh, we had 51 players. Lukey Bain travelled over and got a 2-shot win over Elias Lind and Clayton Beck. So good to see Clayton, stepping back up and having another good event.
That's a decent travel for the bloke. Maybe, he did a slow travel after ACT, maybe.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah?
But look, beat some good players. Zach James, Stan Frost, Reese Wiz, Olatunji as well. So, yeah, very good stuff for those boys finishing on the podium there. MA1 was won by Broden Sharat over Pritkoiv. 1 shot. So very nicely done, Broden.
Toy.
MA50, Andy Wiz. He broke the TD curse and got the win over Nicholas Hall. And that's a solid win because I think generally I'm calling out Nicholas Hall's name in that stoush. But they are evenly rated at 884.
That's cool.
So that's a very tight battle. Good to see Andy Wiz get a win.
Yeah.
MA2, Josh Gresham had a win, it looks like in a playoff over Neil Vogel. Oh, 3-way playoff. And Jack Tonsing also on plus 16.
Yeah, right.
Have to get the intel on that one. 3-way playoff would have been exciting. MA3, Jack Gannon had a 5-shot win over Josh Godby. And MA4, Paul Murray had a win over Josh Bishop.
Oh, mate, it's a sausage fest, isn't it?
That's it.
There were no female players. There you go. Very solid.
Yeah, very solid. But good to see Reese and Andy running comps because they've obviously ran Cataraction, which was a blast, and now Sefton Sesh as well. So it's good stuff.
And there were a couple of small events down in Tassie, but there wasn't too many players. But shout out to Atticus and Sam Rubok, who got a couple of wins down there.
Yeah, very nicely done.
All right, now we are into... There's no interview this episode.
Yeah, I reached out to Clayton a little too late, so sorry, Clayton. We'll have to get you on a future episode. But nonetheless, he deserves his bit of spotlight after a good win in SA.
And before we get into question, I did put out a little Instagram thing. So what are the most useful items in your bag that aren't discs, Tim?
Well, I sent one in. I said the rangefinder because I'll rangefinder anything and everything, and I absolutely love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, disc.
I've got to admit,
unfortunately, it's always bloody wet.
I used the Rangy a lot at DWA, and yes, the holes went long, but just to there was a bit of elevation round. I know how far this is. Really helped a lot of shots.
For me, it just takes it helps me focus my attention on the shot. I'm not wondering about distance. I'm not wondering about disc. It just takes something off my working memory, and I can just focus on the shot. So it's just like clean the slate. Then I can have my throw.
Yeah, that's cool. Actually, there was another thing with DWA that I did that was new.
Okay.
That I wanted to share on the pod too. So I've reduced the amount of discs in my bag.
Yeah. Okay.
Reasonably significantly. Like I've taken 6 discs out.
Okay.
I've gone a lighter bag.
So you're rocking the little cheapo bag.
Yep. And I changed my putters. So I haven't putt with anything other than a dagger for nearly 10 years.
Wow.
So I put the peak in. I've been enjoying it.
The putting was good too.
The putting felt good.
Putts. Yep. We only 2 shots separated us, and I can remember the holes where you got them and the putts.
The peak. I want to throw it out. I know that they've been hitting this one pretty hard, in the marketing, but I really like it. And I know Dylan's putting with them too. He did go between a dagger and the peak for some different putt shots, but he's liking them too. So anyway, I digress.
Mate, the 300 softs from PA3s from Prodigy, far better. Look in.
Mate, look, the I've felt it in the hand. It feels good.
Yeah,
good putter. It's a good putter. And you definitely hit some big putts with that
anyway,
too.
You've got this microscopic bag with very few discs. What's the most important thing in your bag that's not a disc?
The most important thing that's not a disc, the weight.
Just like keeping the weight of the bag down.
The weight of the bag down.
Yeah.
No, probably the so I've got a couple here. I definitely agree with you with the Rangy. The other one, I keep at Tintinara, there's the train track right there.
Yeah.
I put a coin that I had in my bag on the train track, and it flattened it.
Okay.
And Tintinara was the first, technically it was my first A-tier win or major win. So I keep that in my bag.
Got the lucky coin. There you go.
Yeah.
And never mind the train crash.
Does it? Yeah. Nah, it's fine. Does it help at all? No. But that's what I keep in the bag.
There you go. What are people sent in?
So we've had the ginger disc golfer has said a sandbag.
Okay. Does he mean like the chalky bag thingy, or is he talking about sandbagging?
I think he's talking about sandbagging. I'm just going to say that. Yeah. That's attached to your bag, mate. No. Then who's this? I don't know who that is, but so another person has said towels and loose chalk.
Yeah, loose chalk. I see a lot of people with like one pocket of their bag is just a chalk dungeon. They can just pop their hand in there.
Yeah, Bainey's got that.
Yeah, Reese Wiz does it too, or maybe it's just because he's been throwing his chalk bag in there.
Yeah,
but yeah, it staggers me that they get through the airports with like basically a Coke pocket. So
I swear it's to grip my disc better.
That's it.
What do you think of the old chalk bag?
I mean, I use it on wet days. I struggle not with like lack of grip. I struggle with too much grip, if that makes sense. I'm more keen on washing my hands every few holes. Yeah. Because I just get swollen fingers and too clammy, sticky hands. So
I mean, the people I see use it the most are Bainey and Blake. like the Perth boys.
Yeah.
Where I suppose you're rocking a bit more heat, or definitely more humidity up Bainey's way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't
makes
like
a
grip
difference.
between my fingers. Like if they get a little bit moist.
Yeah.
Does that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm putting dirt between them.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
say I'm an avid user of the tacky sacks or the chalk bags, but yeah, they have their use, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So did anyone send that in?
What?
Just, like specifically tacky sacks or chalk bags?
There's a few chalk bags.
Okay.
Robbie has sent in a snake bite kit.
Really?
Yeah,
is
right.
that what?
Is that a thing?
Been bitten by snakes, or just like he's that scared of snakes?
I just bring you so you can suck the poison out.
Don't I wee on it? Is that not what I do?
Well, you can. Yeah, it can't hurt. Snake bite kit. No, I think that's a bit of a joke. Danger Daz has said cans with a beer emoji. That's a wise man there.
Not wrong. A few people would say that.
Reece Circuit has said a bunny bag.
Yeah, he's the founder of Bunny Bags. They're like
that's
the chalk bag.
Chalk bag.
With the bunny ears, so you can clip the ears onto your bag. They're very clever.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
very
yes.
good stuff, or Reese boy.
Nice one.
with that one.
He said towels. Yep, fair enough. Chewy and an extendable pole.
Yep, to retrieve your disc.
Smart.
I just rely on other people having one of those when I need it.
Yeah. Marlon has said chalk bag, towels, and energy bars.
Energy bars, yep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We should revisit that segment where we spoke about disc golf snacks. Keen to see if people have changed what they eat out there on the course.
Yeah. Time for an update. I like that. Timmy, rangefinder, nice. Dark Side Disc Golf has said a towel, and LA Disc Golf has said ibuprofen. I definitely carry a little med
not
kit.
wrong. Yep, did my back leading into Lake Diwa, and I was chasing down some ibuprofen.
I didn't have any for you too. I felt
Yeah,
bad.
no,
Yep.
one of the young fellas, Leo Dykes, came through actually.
Yeah. With that's one thing I don't have with the small bag now.
Yep.
I am waiting for actually I don't know, it came up a couple of times, but the new Latitude bags are not far away, but they got delayed because of the logo.
That's right. Yeah, so it's an Aussie brand, right? It was Peak.
O'Neill,
not Peak.
So
O'Neill.
O'Neill is a surfing brand,
Yeah.
and they have quite a similar logo to the swoosh logo.
Yeah.
And I think they've talked it out, lawyer to lawyer, and Latitude now need to have their name, like Latitude 64 with the logo, and I think that stuffed up some of the or just delayed the bag release.
Yeah. Wow.
But,
I mean, the logos are very, very similar, but they're essentially just a circle. So
yeah,
I can see where maybe it wasn't like a stolen, creative idea. It was just coincidence that they both came up with this slanted circle.
I mean, you can definitely see like, yeah, all right, one looks like a wave and the other one kind of looks like a disc path. Like, yeah, but I mean, does it really matter? Like,
Well, it does. So now you have to put your Latitude 64, which is a shocking name, to be fair, underneath the swoosh.
Latitude 64?
Yeah, it's a shocking name. It's just a bad name, mate.
Prodigy.
Prodigy, heaps better.
Mate,
Heaps
tickets? Got tickets much?
Yeah, no, I love it. It's perfect. Anyway.
All right. So yeah, there was some good ones there. Timmy, are you going to add anything else onto there?
No, rangefinder, obviously towel, it goes without saying, but I only use the towel when it's wet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The mini, maybe? I always use the mini.
Yeah.
Could get away with not using the mini.
Do you know what I did get caught out with?
Yeah.
A pen. I didn't have a Sharpie on me.
Oh, that's right. Because of the internet or lack of reception at Lake Diwa, I had to actually go to the physical scorecard.
Yeah.
Fun times.
It's OG.
Anyway, I've got one more thing on the docket, Paddy.
Yep.
One more question. I sent it in specifically to put it on the bill to have a chat about. Did everybody see Ali Smith's putt?
Yes. Now, I popped it on our soch.
If you didn't,
I was pretty surprised.
Let's walk her through it. So it's round 2. It's hole 2, right at the start of the round. And she's lining up a putt from, what would you say, 5 metres, Paddy? 6 metres?
Oh, yeah, at least. Yeah.
She's like, I'm in iron, like clearly not confident. What do I do here? What do I do here? Am I going to putt? And all of a sudden, she pulls it over her head and floppy joes it, end over end. Basically a drop punt. If you can imagine a drop punted Sharon, she's basically drop punted basketball thrown her putter end over end. And it actually went in. What do we think?
Look, I did see it and I thought, nah. I don't like it.
Yep.
I don't really want to see that kind of come in?
Look, it's obviously it was Ellie Smith and it wasn't Evelina or Hannah Bloomross, but it was just like this personification of the mental putting woes that those two girls have all in a 30-second grab there. I couldn't believe it. It was kind of sad that she's lacking so much confidence on her normal stroke that she had to resort to the end over end, which is such a low percentage putt.
I mean, there was. Did you see her comment on it?
No, I didn't. What did she say?
Yeah, so she actually did comment on this. She made a bit of a video to explain why she was doing it. So maybe let's have a quick listen to that.
Hey there, Allie Smith here. Just finished up my second round at Sprinkle Valley. You may have seen the turbo slam putt, the waffle. That's to help me with my bullseye putts. I've got a bit of the yips, a bit of anxiousness inside that zone. So it releases some stress and pressure. I can just step up and know I can slam putt it, and I'm okay with missing it because I'm not going to three putt. I don't think I three putted today. We're building, we're growing. That bullseye normal putt will come, but I'm just proud of myself for finishing. Last year, if you saw me at US Women's here, had a mental breakdown and just proud to finish. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Well, good on her for owning it because it was difficult to watch, but it's good to see that clarification from her.
I mean, like if it's in the bullseye, I felt like some of those putts were longer than that.
It was like a little longer, to be honest. Yeah. Like, and she started the waffle floppy thing like it was like left of the target, and it sort of swung in and just got in. So I don't know.
That's some pretty bad yips though, and I mean we've seen some pretty bad putting, and we do comment on it when we do see some bad putting. But
yeah,
I don't know. Do you think are you going to see Evelina or any one of those guys take to the turbo putt?
I don't know if it's turbo, but those two girls definitely need to sit down with Allie Smith and talk strategy and things that they could try because they're basket cases as far as I'm concerned on the putting green. At least Allie's the way she spoke then was confident. She knows that the issue's there. She's got some ideas and ways to work through it, and she, as she said, she's building. So
I mean, I love that. Work in progress.
Yeah, that's it.
And she's out there on tour, so it's cool. It's it'll be interesting to see what she gets to when she starts actually doing her normal putt.
And it makes sense. She's obviously not going to roll away too far with the waffle putt, as she called it. But, I mean, she could. That could easily hit the tray and away you go.
If you're doing that in wind or on elevation, I don't know. That's scary. I wonder if she needs like a super flexy, like floppy putter if she's going to keep that going.
I reckon there's definitely scope for ingenuity and new design around putter.
Yeah.
And I feel like it could be an ultra soft plastic. It could be like more along the lines of the Berg. Like, why couldn't you just go with like a Berg style disc or like some sort of concrete slab that's just going to drop down and not fly any further than 2 meters?
Yeah.
I don't know. Could be some real out of the box stuff coming on the putter front, I reckon anyway. Particularly when you look at like Evelina and Hannah, who clearly are not comfortable with the putter in their hand. Like, could we change the shape of the putter drastically to sort of suit their hands and fingers better? Something that's comfortable that they can just throw, because you can throw anything 3 meters in roughly the direction you want to throw it. These girls can't throw a disc that's designed for exactly that task on track 3 meters.
I'm trying to think, like, what was the rule? Like, because there was the blow fires where you could literally screw it up into a ball and throw it.
They got rid of that, because Matt Bell was doing it.
You can't do that.
Not allowed to do that anymore.
That's fair. I don't want to see that continue.
I mean, I'm just thinking now, like, if you got down to disc golf, like I'm playing a par 3, but then when I got within 10 meters, I was suddenly a game of basketball, and I could just throw a basketball into the target.
I mean, like, we've all seen the Calvin, like, when he doinks them. I'd love to see that a bit more. But anyway.
We digress. Nonetheless, it was difficult to watch, and hopefully, players like Evelina and Hannah and Ali can start to work on getting that sort of bullseye stuff dialed in.
I mean,
because you just don't like seeing a lack of confidence at the elite level. That's all.
Yeah, 100%, especially when it comes to putting, because I feel like that is one thing you can do a lot.
Exactly.
And if it does come down to mental, then it's like, well, there's probably less resource about mental sort of stuff. So
it does bug me, and the fact that with Evelina and Hannah, it is not mental. It is actually mental and a combination of very, very poor form.
Poor technique,
so when they've got the mental sort of taking over, they don't have the fallback of like, this is my routine and I've got the good technique that's going to get me there as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I suppose they are still quite young, so maybe a bit of...
that's it.
Yeah, anyway. All right, well, thanks, Tim.
No worries, buddy.
We said it was going to be quick, but it was about 55 minutes. So
Yeah, we always waffle on.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening to another episode of The Tee Off. Please make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram and send in any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss. Until next time, we hope you get out and play some disc golf with your mates.
So that's the end of the episode. Thanks for listening. I don't know why you're still here. We have to go see our families. Seriously, just go play disc golf.